Spend one more night. Ooh, sleeping with lonely bell.
So on the user dashboard, we want to display all its pending applications and those that have been completed. So completed applications and pending application. And all those applications relating to their particular whatever we can call it, they are checking at that particular time. Now, in the previous video, we were able to create a simple view, a simple Postgre view to speed up the data retrieval on read. And remember, when I was talking about in one of the previous video I've already uploaded, when I was talking about threading, I mentioned two basic operations that the computer has to execute in order to do computation. We have a read and we have a write. What we are trying to create in this case, we are trying to create a materialized view or a generic view. And when I'm using the word view in this instance, I'm referring to a Postgres view. The materialized view that will increase the performance on read. How? When the user land on the dashboard, the idea is to display a summary with some data aggregation on everything that's happening on the accounts. They might see the amount of application that has been submitted, the number of applications that are pending, approved. So on the dashboard page, there is a lot of reads ops that's happening. Since we are using Django, and Django sort of create a link between a Django query set, and your table. We could just create a complex Django query set to get the data aggregation from that particular user so we can display that on the dashboard page. But to increase a little bit on the read performance, we want to get the aggregation from the Postgres and directly just put it from the Postgres as a single query set on Django to avoid two-step querying the data on the database. That's why we have an idea of creating a materialized view set to increase read operation from the database. Now, where are we gonna get all this data? Where are we gonna get the aggregation? The aggregate data will come from the table we have property application. That's one of the table that we need to get the aggregate data for a particular tender. And I'm not gonna use, I'm gonna use the word tender because it sounds silly and complicated. Or where you don't want to be clear, well, let's use the word title. Okay. What else? We need to make sure that there is a link between the application and ownership. Why? Because one owner may have one or multiple titles. And feel free to create everything I'm creating here, I'm not scared of competition. You can literally copy everything I'm doing here and go create something else. It's okay. Let's clear again. We do have another table named ownership. This is where we track ownership between a tender. Stop using the word tender. I'm just gonna use the word tender or title. And a owner or a particular user. Okay, so we got the application table. We do have the ownership table. And last but not least, we have the title itself, because without a title, we cannot track the ownership. Oh, we have also the owner. Select username, select first name, last name from owner profile. So we have we need 4 tables, right? So we're gonna have and these are some owners that I have insert. So we have these are checkul, of course, that me, We have a taboo, or this name has been dedicated to one of the brave, yes, she knows what I'm talking about. Now, the last table we need to use, of course, to create that aggregates, it's gonna be select title number, folio, status, parent ID, because we need to track the parents who has transferred that title from who was the previous owner before the current owner became the owner of that particular title. And what else? We have the status, of course, from property or start. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Property application. Cool. So we are going to use 4 tables. As you can see, we are going to use 4 tables to aggregate the number of the applications that are pending and the number of applications that are completed. Why? Because we want to create a better summary for our owner on the dashboard page on the front ends. 4 tables which are ownership, application. Oh, it starts with title, ownership, application, and what else? And owner. Okay, but before we do, we need to create the actual query that will really aggregate the required number of verified and unverified owner titles or owner tenders. It is semi-tender. It's not a literal tender, but it's still a tender. A title is a tender. Why would you say that a title is a tender? Yeah, because it's transferable from one owner to another, so it should be a tender. Now, let's do our query so we can see how this can be done. But as we can see, we only need completed and completed application and pending application. And for this instance, we have one application, only one application that is completed. So we need to modify one of these records, right? I could do for the one owner, this user, but I can do that for this user where we can get 2 records, like one user as a completed application, the other one does not have, the other one also has a completed, or the other one has a pending application. Right, so let's update property application set status equal. If I insert something like a yada yada on I'm trying to do something where house data id equal to 38. It does update, but this is not what we need to do. Let's select all. It does update because I'm now in Django. I am way back to Postgres, but I could have created a constraint of status right here, so it can only accept certain values, so I'm gonna change that to pending. Okay, let's look at the application. Property, application, status character varying. Even if it doesn't character varying, I don't know why it was able to accept that random string. I know, because I'm in Postgres, I'm now in Django. Usually when you're inserting anything that's not acceptable on status from Django or from the REST API, Django will deny that because it's now a character varying, but I don't know why it's accepting. There is a way I can fix that so it can restrict that, even if the user were able, for some reason, someone was really trying to insert value from Postgres. I will say that again. If someone trying to insert the status that is not what we've previewed or provisioned, it should throw that out, should refuse that. But we look at that later. Select all from application, property, application. Now we have pending and we have completed. Okay. Now let's create our query from which we are going to create a materialized view. So select up number, I gotta grab some water. Okay, we got count up number. You want to filter where the app status equal completed. We gonna name that as count verify. Right. Okay. We also want to count the app number as well, but we're gonna count filter where the app status equal pending. we are going to label that as count spending. We also want to get the owner username. We don't need a username when we are querying this, but for the sake of demonstration, to see how the query is gonna work, we need to get the username as well. But we're not gonna need the username. We're only gonna need the user ID. And the user in this instance is the owner itself. Owner ID as owner ID. We also need the application, the house starter ID as starter, where our far left application, our far left, our face table is the application table. Application table is not the face application, the face table, but it's the main table from which we need to aggregate this data. Okay, property application as app. That's why I have used the app here, because I prepare the label that will represent the application table. Now we need to create our join. We're gonna do left join. we could use inner join, but a left join makes sense here, because we are joining from left. We are joining from the application table. Property ownership. We could use as ownership, or we can directly say ownership. So we are joining the application. We are joining the application and the ownership. Why? So we might know who owns what, right? Who's that person that owns something, and they have also submit the application. Okay, it's gonna be on ownership. Ownership data ID equal application house data ID. Now we do the face left join, and then we're gonna go from the ownership to the owner itself, so we can also get the owner. Okay. Let's first do this from the ownership to the owner, or we could also go from the ownership to the title. But let's go from the ownership to the title. Left join owner profile as owner. So owner represents the owner profile. On owner ID equal ownership. Ownership as the owner ID. we group that by, what are we gonna group that by? We're going to group that by we do have a username, owner ID. Okay, let's group that by owner, username, app status, app house title ID, owner ID, app house title. Now, as we can see, we have our aggregation, right? We have our aggregation. We can, this is quite enough. We can use this query and load it to Django querySet. A Django querySet, it's an API that's bound a SQL to a object, a dictionary called querySet, a dictionary of type querySet, a dictionary that represents a key value from your table. As you can see, we have for user jcooler as one pending, for username Mwanda as one verify. And we can see the respective title and the ownership ID. Oh, I mean the owner ID. Right. I didn't call the ownership ID here. I didn't query the ownership ID. The owner ID represents the ID of the owner. Right. And this is our query. We could make it better. We could go further, apply the having clause. Let's try the having clause and see what's gonna happen. Having app status equal completed. This is gonna be sort of redundant because we have already filter here, right? We already filter and count here, so we can or we cannot, but let's see what's gonna happen. Or app status equal pending. Redundant, right? We have count verify for Mwanda, which is true. We have oh, beautiful. This one looks correct. This is exactly what we need to do. From this, we can see that the user Mwanda and the user jcooler, they share one tender or certificate. They share certificate. How do we know that user Mwanda and user jcooler share certificate? Because one title may be owned by one or multiple owner, right? Oh, I didn't know that's supposed to do. This is perfect, right? Now this is gonna be our query. This is our query from which we are going to create a materialized view, right? Because this certificate, the title 38 is owned. I wish I could show you my user interface, but I'm not allowed to do that. You know, yeah, you know, the end that give, the end that control. You know, some people have, you know what I'm talking about. So but to check that, we can just do this. Select all from property ownership. Hey, Banku. There we go. So this title here, the title ID 38 is owned by Mwanda and the user JCooler. User JCooler with ID 244. Yeah, don't tell me that these 244 I insert down manually. It's just random. It's just random that the user ID of JCooler is 244. Did I plan for that? No. Determinism. It's deterministic. Okay, according to Plato, everything has been before we ever discovered that. Plato said that everything has been before we discovered that. We do not invent everything. We discover things that has been before we ever discovered that. Plato was crazy. I remember my paper talking about determinism with Plato in philosophy. That professor used to hate me. I don't know why he hates me. The professor is from Texas. I forget his name, but for some reason he didn't like me. And I was doing good in philosophy. I don't know why he didn't like me. I remember one day I found that professor on the hallway. I was just like, hey, professor, I've noticed there is something between us, but I don't know, am I a good student? Would you tell me something I'm doing wrong? He was just like, oh no, I knew I couldn't change him, Maybe he was vibrating different frequency than mine. That's why he hated me, but I did well on philosophy. But who cares, It's just a class. Okay, so we got it. This is the perfect query that we need to create our materialized view on Postgres and bind that view to Django querySet so we can speed up or increase the performance on read. Okay, I'm gonna copy this. I didn't know that I would get it right. This one make perfect. This one is good. This one is good, right? But this one is perfect. This one do the better aggregation because it only retrieve the user we want and their respective counting pending. And so when JCooler logged in on the dashboard, it's gonna see 1 pending and 0 verified. But when the user Mwanda logged in, it's gonna see 1 verified and 1 pending. Okay, so you gotta copy this and save it somewhere because writing these queries, God knows, if we can, because once I'll be able to push it on production, I have to go recreate. Oh, I don't have to. Yeah, I don't have to. My migration will create that. Okay, so I'm gonna use this query to create a migration on Django. Now let's create our materialized view. Create materialize view if not exist, right? Is that the way they create that? Let me just create auto update. Okay, I'm gonna verify it somewhere quickly.
Listen to the music. It will show. Josephine Baker too. I see Chester Hines, Richard Wright with their blues. I see Dexter Gordon. I see Miles and Dix. I see Memphis Slim.
Okay. There is no close.
For my black pants.
Um,
You know they thought he was last. What can you do with these black pants?
there is no clause that states. I'm just gonna create a simple. I wanted to apply the auto.
Can you hear me say? I feel lost in this truth. Hallelujah, Fonse, I've lost my way. I can't get back home, it's true.
Oh,
Here's where I'm gonna stay. For my blues I will play. What can you do with this black Paris blue? What can you do with this black Paris blue?
what does it say?
I will always will.
Okay, we are going to need.
What can you do? Black Paris blue. Riding through.
Okay, we don't need. Yeah, we can do this here. I found that. I'm looking at the Postgres documentation about creating materialized view with different options. So I'm gonna do. Yeah, I'm gonna do create or refresh materialize materialize view. I'm gonna name it what is the name of the component? I wanna make sure that I name it I use the same naming convention that I'm using on the front end for that particular components. The components that query the number of pending and the approved applications. So I'm gonna look at the design on Illustrator. Certificates. Okay, it's auth certificates.
Crazy. With the love that you left behind. You're driving me, oh, you'll drive me crazy. Oh, the love that you left behind.
Oh, I see there is
I feel so low.
I think I have to use the word
And it's driving me
let me see. Okay, so I have to use the keyword as. So the keyword as make the cache on a Postgres. Right, it's where the caching happens because it makes this query, the next query we're about to copy and paste. We're not gonna paste it. We have to literally write it so we can understand it. the S make it to be cacheable, and when a materialize is cacheable, it's increase the read on the database. Okay.
I feel so lonely. And it's driving me out of my mind.
I think they could just do this, you know. I don't know why they do. It's okay. I'll think about refreshing later. Let me just continue working on this. Now we have to apply our query. Select count up application number. Filter where app status equal completed as count verified. We are going to count application. You might be wondering, why are we counting application twice? We are counting the we are counting on the same field with different condition using filter. Count application, filter where app status equal pending as counts pending. So both counts verify and counts pending will be our future field on Django querySet and the Django model. Do we need owner username? No, we don't need that. We don't want to expose that, because every time you are using a gate, if there is a caching on that particular, every time you're using a get verb, on HTTP, if there is caching on the URL, if there is caching on the URL, or your NNS service provider can cache that URL, and if that URL exposes some sensitive data, these sensitive data can be exposed, and you know, bad actor, they're always there, or people with good intention, you know, bug bounties, they can find it and you know, try to claim to be the user and do whatever they can. So we're not gonna expose the username, because it is sensitive information. What we're gonna do, we are going to skip the username. We're only gonna get the owner ID. Eventually, if you know, we want to do something relating to that user, so we can expose the user ID. Yeah, I'm not gonna expose it as a text. I'm gonna round 64 and code it with some salt, which is gonna be simple, you know, hiding, you know, I just round, you know, rounded times probably 3 plus salt, and when I get it on the front end, I'm gonna deround it. I'm gonna extract it. I pass the salt, extract it. It's gonna be simple. Not too much computation, just hiding the user ID. You know, it depends. You don't have to hide the user ID, but in some cases you don't want to expose that. Yeah, so let's continue. Owner ID as owner ID. We need the title. We need the title ID. We might or we might not need that. We may need that because we want to make sure that on the dashboard, when we display the aggregation of that particular on the number of pending application, when the user click on that, I wish I could show you. When the user click on the I'm not going to show that. Let me see. Okay, when the user click on that components, they can see the details of these two applications. So we may get the application number. We need the application number here. You see? Now app instead of app app house title. Let's get app house title, but let's first get app number, application number. We need the application number because they can click on that summary to go see the application, because that's just a summary. But if they click on that components, if we have the application number, we are going able to redirect them to see the application details. If you know, you know. If you don't know, it's okay, just hanging there. Oh, I don't know if that's gonna be possible. Who cares? What is? Okay, app number, app house title. We need title ID. Okay. What is? Okay, as title. This is gonna be title. Okay. Where we gonna get it from? We're gonna get it from the property application as app, or we can just pass space app. Now we need to start doing our left join. Left join property. We are starting from the application to owner, and when you pass the keyword left join, remember the left join, the left here refers to the first from. It's not the one you are starting. As I'm using the left join in this instance, right here, left join, the left I'm starting, our left is our application, right? It's not the one we are passing the ownership. Left join ownership, ownership title ID equal app house title ID. Left join owner profile, owner profile. The owner profile here represents my user. I have customized the user. Owner owner ID equal to ownership owner ID. The first join, we go from the property application to the ownership, and from the ownership to the owner profile, which is the owner. Okay. Now we need to start grouping by. Group by. Since we haven't select the owner username, you know, we don't need that for the aggregation. So we're not gonna group by that. We are going to group by app status, app application number, app house title ID, owner ID, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. App status, app number, app starter ID, owner ID, and app house starter. Okay. We need to do our having close. Having, it's kind of like a where close on on grouping. Having app status, right? We did app status here. App status equal completed, or app status equal pending. What is it saying? Missing close from ownership. Missing close from entry ownership. What is that? Left join property ownership. Left join property ownership, like ownership. Yeah, this is right. So what's going on? You see, the fact that I've included comments on this, it's kind of like making things. I know it's just a comment. The dash is just a comment. Because as I was speaking, I wanted to write to make my statement. Okay. To make my statement clear. Something goes wrong here. Property ownership. Yeah, property ownership as, let me use as ownership. So counting on from application as app. Yeah, this is correct. From application as app. Oh. Do I need a space? I probably need a space somewhere here. Yeah, I needed a space here. Oh, no. Ownership title ID. What is the from is referring to? See, that's why I don't like copying. from left join property ownership. Yeah, oh. Property application is application owner ID app browser ID is title. Okay, he's saying we have line 6 here, ownership title ID. Let's see. Let's read. We get there. Let's go back. See what goes wrong. It's from property app. So from property application as app. Okay. Left join property ownership as ownership on ownership title ID equal. This should be fine. Let's look at ownership. What is the structure on ownership? Yeah, ownership as title ID. Why is verifying? There must be something missing on the space. Since I commented that when I was writing. Let's go. Let's go. We gotta do more on Django today. Okay, yeah, probably this space. No, it still say no. See, missing from close. There is no from. We don't need from. Oh, I guess the from space here. There is no from on ownership. We don't need from. Oh, left join from. Maybe he's right. Let me see. Left join. Yeah, we don't need. Oh, see, it might be the space between title. It might be the space somewhere here. Yeah, maybe this space. No, he said no. Okay, let's clear so we can restart. This is gonna be complicated. Let's go back to what we designed before. This was what we create. We didn't have from. We didn't have from. We did not have from before the application. I mean, before the ownership. This was perfect, except the username. We don't need username, so I'm gonna remove username. Okay, username, goodbye. We don't need you. What else we don't need? What else we don't need? We're gonna create materialize view as we name it auth certificates. We select. Yeah, sometimes you just want to make it work. Once it works, you're gonna go back, check later, and see if you're gonna correct something else. So we're not gonna group on yeah. The keyword as is not permitted. Oh. It's getting more complicated. Yes, it has to, because there is no such thing as free lunch. You gotta, if your company is giving you free lunch, it means that they're abusing you somewhere. It means that they know they gave more from you than a lunch of $25. Speaking of free lunch, I remember that company I used to work for, we had free lunch. But as I'm speaking now, don't want to say that. Let's go back on. We don't have to pass as, we just have to pass the name, and we pass our as here. Okay. So create materialized view auth certificate as select. We pass our query and our aggregates fields. We use the, after aggregate, we use the owner ID as owner ID. We also have to use the app number, right? And we continue from the from he was referring to the from is from the property application as app. Left join ownership doesn't need the from. I don't know what he was referring to. I think I probably missed space somewhere on so we join from property application to the ownership, from ownership to the owner profile, so we can know the owner, and then we group by application status. Before we do application status, let's do application dot app number. Okay, and we do our having close. Bingo. So we can select all from auth certificates. Bingo. So we create our materialized view quickly. How many times do I have before I break my neck and go find? Oh yeah, I still have sometimes. It doesn't matter if I go 2 hours. Okay, now we create our materialized view. We can view. What is our view? Yeah, this is our materialized view of certificates. Okay. Let's select that again. So our view, we have the count verified, the count pending, the owner ID, the application number, and the title. Now let's go back on Django, create. We need to copy this query because we are going to run this query on migration. We need to create a customized migration so we can run this query. Right? We need to run that query on Django. Let's go on our Python thing. If you are using PyCharm, make sure you block PyCharm on PyCharm. It's open a connection so that PyCharm can get all the data. I mean, not between your PyCharm and the JetBrains application. I've also noticed VS Code create that. It's open a connection, TCP connection. I don't know what they send, if they send data or. Make sure when you're using VS Code or you're using PyCharm, make sure you go to your network connection, you go to your firewall, block that, You're using the ID, you don't have to send your codes. I don't know if they get your code as you're typing, or I don't know what they get as you're working on the application, but I just don't find it correct, When you're using the application, they open a backdoor. It's not a backdoor, I don't want to use that word, but they are just getting some data from the application. So make sure you block that. Do I have to show that? I'll create a video on that to show you how to. Okay, what are we gonna do? We are going to go on Django. Now we need to bind our materialized view with the Django so we can query that as a query set. Okay. Let's go on our migration. I have a lot of migration files. I'm going to create a new migration records. Okay. Okay, I'm going to create a new migration record. Let's name that new Python file. I'll name that 0033 dash updates creates updates auth certificates aggregates. Okay, now we need to start copying. From Django DB, import migration. What else? Probably model. Yeah, we need to import model as well. We got create our class migration. Migration, which gonna use migration, which gonna be an extension from the migration, as we're seeing here. Pass the dependency property, dependency, which is an array. It's gonna be dependent on this guy. Property, the property is the application name, the name of the file is 32, remove terms dash application what else? Remove themes dash updated by unique and more. Okay, that's the dependency. Operation. The operation is also an array. We are going to create field, but before we create our field, let's go to model. We are going to create this is gonna be, I think I have to move this to, instead of using a model as a file, I'm probably gonna move that to I have to move that to a package. So class, this class, I'm gonna name that auth certificates, right? Auth certificate, yeah, it's got to be like this. Auth certificate. What is? Yeah. Summary. That'll be long. Just leave it auth certificate view. Yeah, so we can know that it's a view. Can be a model. And what are the fields we need here? We need verify. These are the fields we're gonna need here. We need count verified, count pending. It could have been count verified with S, sort of franchising that, making that a French franchising, whatever I can say. You know, making that French words, but count verified, it's, you know, good enough. Count pending. Okay, these are the fields we need. I feel like my hands is heavy. I think I have something to paste. I've copied something I have not yet pasted. So count verified. Let's do count verified. Count pending. count verify model, it's gonna be a number. Small integer, yeah, small integer field. It's gonna be, yeah, small integer field is the correct one. Null, false, blank, false, default 0, whereas counts pending, model small integer field, null false, blank false, default 0. Next one's gonna be app number, or owner ID, model small integer field, null false, blank false. The next feed's gonna be what the next feed is gonna be. The next feed is gonna be application number, model chart field. Let's go to the app number. So max gonna be 11. Let's see, let's confirm that the maximum character we can have in application is 11. So we need to count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Cool. And then it's gonna be the title. Okay, so it's gonna be 11. Null false. Oh, yeah, null false. Before we do null false, max length 11. Null false, blank false. And the title will be model small integer, null false, blank false. Class meta, manage, false. So this one will now be managed, which means we are mapping the fields to, I'm not sure if that's the correct property. We are mapping the fields to our specific field on the table, on the database, right? And it's not gonna be, oh, it's probably, I don't know if that's the correct field. Let's look at that again. Okay. Yeah, so that's correct. It's manage false, and the DB table will be the name of our materialized view. So let's look at the materialized view again. What is the name of our materialized view? So the name of the materialized view was auth certificates. Yeah, auth certificates. Now let's use auth underscore certificates right here. Certificates. Cool. Now we need to create our table. Since we have turned off the migration, which means this table will now be managed by Django automatically to update the schemas. We need to create our own migration that will create and that will create the materialized view every time we migrate, even if when we move on from this particular migration to the next one. Okay, what are the operations we're gonna use? Migration, we're going to create a model. The name of the model will be auth certificate view. That will be the name of our model. Auth certificate view. The fields the first field is gonna be what is the first field we have here? Count verified. Count verified. It's a model. Small integer. With the null false blank, false default 0. The next one's gonna be count. The next one gonna be counts. What is count spending? It's a model, small integer as well. Null false, blank false, default 0, The next one's gonna be, you might be asking, what are we copying the same fields that we create here to the migration records? That's because we've taken the manage force. So we don't want a Django to automatically check our model structure to create a migration. We are creating migration manually. So owner ID, app number, okay, owner ID, model, small integer, null, false, blank, false. There is no default here. The next one gonna be app number and title. App number, model, small integer. Oh no, it's not gonna be small integer. What am I talking about? Char field. Max length 11, blank, post, null, post. The next one is gonna be the title, model. Remember, the title should not be a small integer, because the title may change. I mean, the number may not be 1 billion, but this title may change. We may have a title with, a number that is, more than a million. So we have to make it integer. I will change that to integer. Null, false, blank, false. So let's go back here. Instead of making it a small integer, we're gonna make it integer fields, because we're expecting the number of data to grow to 100. If 10 million of people will register, and within 5 years another 10 millions we will update the title. So we're expecting billions in terms of title number, so we have to use integer instead of small. We're using small integer here. We don't think a owner may have a billion certificate. They're probably gonna have a couple of certificates, so we don't need too much bytes or bits. We just need small integer here. But the title will change, so we need integer. Are you gonna do it? Watch me. I'm gonna do it. I bet you. It's not a storm or wind. Watch me. Okay, this is gonna be oath. I forget. Oath certificates. We need to get it right. I think that's pretty much. What else do we need here? Creation options. Okay. Option DB table will be auth certificate. Manage false. It's not manageable. Now, this is where the migration will happen. Run SQL. This is where we need to paste this. My hands was heavy because I knew I had something on my clipboard. So every time we run this migration or Django run it automatically, it's going to create this. And before it does, it's gonna drop if it exists. Drop view auth certificates. Of course, you need semicolon. Okay. Now let's stop this and let's show migrations. Oh, see, I'm creating my own command. Python manage show migration. We have an error. What is the error saying? It's saying migration property dependency for non-existence. You see the dependency doesn't exist. Really? 003. Oh, 00. It's 0032. Okay, I found it. Oh, we have to do this. Python manage property show migration. We are on property. Yes, so what do you want? Unknown command property. Ah, show migration property. My brain lacks permutation. Okay, so it could recognize that this exists, this migration record exists. We just need to apply that by using migrates. Python manage migrates property. Oh, it says it's already exists. Yes, that's why we actually, if it already exists, skip that. Why are you saying? We need to condition that. We need to make sure that it's conditional. I want to use if not exist. Create materialized view if not exist. And so you can skip it. Bingo. So we apply our materialized view. How long have you been here? Okay, I got a couple minutes. I'll make it a 2 hours video. So this migration record creates a link between this guy here. Creates a link between our materialized view, which is name auth certificate, with but we still need to confirm that that link has been established. How are we gonna confirm that? You're gonna go back here, or we can still do that. No. We have to do that on Django because we wanna make sure that the query set can be established. We're gonna do that on Django. So let me do this clear. I don't know if you guys gonna see my terminal. I might have to increase the setting on terminal a little bit. Terminal. No. Let's do editor. Fonts. No, I have to do terminal. Terminal. Okay, we got that one, but we need the setting on terminal. We can make this 21. This is the editor. This is not the terminal. We need to do that for the terminal. Let's go back. General. Tools. Terminal. What is the font for terminal here? Configure terminal, key binding. God damn it. What is the terminal font? Code style. Appearance. Let's go on appearance. Appearance. No. Code editing. Fonts. This is the editor fonts. This is not the terminal fonts. What is the terminal fonts? For God's sake. I can't see the terminal fonts for some reason. Yeah, someone need to create a video and send me the link. Oh, console, yes. I think it's this one. No, wrong. Okay, I hope you guys gonna see. It's okay. Let's try. Python manage shell from no, I want this to be a little bit bigger. Let me Google that. Do you also Google? Yes, I do. I'm a Googler. Google change terminal. And Jesus said to them, whoever has never Googled to google.com, let him be the face to cast the stone on that man. If you never Google, cast the stone on me. Okay, change terminal. Gotcha. Editor, color, and font, console font. Oh, it's on editor. Console. Right? Fonts. Oh, color and fonts. Color and fonts. What is color and fonts?
You know, I lay here thinking about what you did. You know, I know it was wrong, baby, but I'm ready to
Color and fonts.
Baby, you've got to tell me what's going through your head.
Console fonts, okay? Console. Console. Okay. Console. Oh, console fonts. That's what I was looking for. Oh, size was 20. Ah, not bad. Let's make that 25. Apply. Bingo. I think now it's okay. I think you guys can see. Okay, so what do we need? From property models, imports, auth. Oh, from property model, imports, auth, certificates view. Okay, of certificate view, objects, all. It's a ID. The ID does not exist. You see, we found something. Do we need the ID for that? What is something that has to be unique? We have to modify and run that again. It creates an ID, but we don't need an ID. So something that should be unique here is the owner ID. So the owner ID has to be the primary key. Let's go back on this. Owner ID has to be unique, true, primary key, true. Let's see. Is that true? No. We might do that this way. There's nothing that can be unique here. throws the ID because certificate ID counts. Is what do you say? No, we don't. What is? Let's see. I'm gonna copy the way it is first before I go to Django. Let's copy the way it is. Copy, 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 copy. Boom. Okay. Let's go back to our view. See where we messed up, where we can do better. Let's see where we messed up. The better advice I've ever received in my life: be persistent. Don't give up. So we have app number, app status 1, 2.